Hey golfers, in this next video I'm going to be talking about stop sliding golf swing. Keep watching. Hi, it's Troy from hittingitsolid.com here. Thanks for watching. So I'm talking about stop sliding golf swing. So maybe you've been told you're sliding too much in either your downswing or your backswing. What does sliding look like? So if I'm set up to one here, now this view will show it best from face on towards the camera. Now I've got a driver, it's exactly the same if you've got an iron. With the driver we're hitting on the up, so there will be a little bit more access tilt on the way down, but it's much the same principle. So too much sliding predominantly talks about our hips, all right? So as I make a backswing, too much sliding off the ball in the backswing would look like this. Too much slide this way, and on the downswing it would be too much slide like this. Hips going first, upper body tilts back severely, and you get stuck in that awkward position like this. So definitely getting too much slide or too much lateral sway or shift towards either the backswing or the downswing is not what we want. A little bit of lateral shift towards the target in the downswing is okay, but a little bit is okay. We definitely don't want too much. So let's talk about some ways we can fix this sliding for you and get you hitting the ball much more solid. Okay, let's look at a really simple way we can stop sliding in your backswing to begin with. Because if you look at any of the great players of today or from the past, very, very few of them you'll see will be sliding off the ball like this. They'll all make a fairly centered turn and then through to a really powerful downswing. So really key move. I'll show you this from a couple of different angles. I want you to set up to one here. Doesn't matter if you've got a driver or an iron. Now when you get this right, this will stop you really swaying, moving off the ball. You'll be able to rotate better because sliding really inhibits your ability to rotate, which is something I've spoken about a lot that really helps you in your golf swing. So at your setup, take your trail foot, drop it back about at least 5 inches behind the lead foot, and when you set up like this, this really helps you get a nice rotation and really stops that slide, that lateral shift off and away from the ball. And you can hit shots like this at the driving range. It's really effective. Let's have a look from this angle here. This will show it a lot clearer for you. Here's the trail foot. We're just dropping it back there. And you can hit shots like that at the driving range. And that will give you a great feeling for making a more centered turn and stop that slide in your backswing. A great way to fix your hip slide is really take a step back and look at what the root cause of it could be that's causing you to do that hip slide in the swing. And particularly in the downswing, this is where most golfers suffer from a bit of hip slide, something I've worked a lot on. And quite commonly, as I showed in the first part of the videos, where those hips will just push out like this, the upper body will tilt back and you'll get in this sort of stuck position here. Now the reason you might be sliding, a lot of it comes from this trail leg. It really likes to, in the downswing, really push hard. If you're someone, when you get to the top and you look at your trail leg and it really fires in, really pushes against that lead, pushes the pelvis, pushes those hips, and you get in this awkward sort of position like that. So that trail hip plays a really key part in that hip slide. So what I'd like to see you do when you make a swing, and I've got a simple drill coming up that's going to really embed this into your game. As you get to the top, as you come down, I'd like that upper body and the lower body to move and end up right on top of one another, roughly somewhere like that at impact. Be much the same with an iron. Driver, I'll be tilted back a little bit more because I'm hitting up on a tee, but I don't want those hips to be getting further out in that position there. We want the lead shoulder to really feel like it's stacked on top of that lead leg and getting into a bit more of a position like that, where there's no slide and we're really rotating those hips, because the slide really inhibits your ability to turn, to rotate the hips and the shoulders for that matter. And we really want to get into that nice position there at impact where everything's rotating. All right, I've got a great drill you can practice that's going to get rid of this hip stall for you. It's coming up. Okay, I've got a great drill you can practice. You can do this at home first of all, just to get the feel of it, and then build your way up to the driving range and start hitting small shots with this drill. And this will really help you out with your hip slide. All you'll need is, you can do this with a range basket if you're at a range. If you're practicing at home, you don't have one of these, try it with either probably a small bucket or even a ball will do fine. What I want you to do is place this between your legs. Now, the object of this is, the hip slide happens in this downswing. If I go to the top here, is when that trail leg, as I said, really drives in hard. Now, if I was to slide here, that basket will really squeeze in and it will stay in between my legs. What I'd like you to do, when you get to the top, as you start your downswing and the transition, is really feel like those legs separate and you're really squatting into the ground. You get that bit of separation. And when you do that, that lead leg will not slide forward like this, it'll rotate. The lead leg will rotate and it'll start externally rotating around, and we'll get into that nice impact position. So you can hit small shots like this at the range, just placing it between your legs and just making really small swings, letting that basket drop out between your legs in the downswing, and that ensures that you're not sliding. Really effective, this one. So if we go to the top and just let it drop out. Start off really slow, just hit tiny little shots even if they're only going 50 or 100 yards. And this is a fantastic way, get those hips opening up and rotating in that downswing, and you won't be in this sort of awkward sliding position, and you'll be able to hit the ball a lot more consistently. So important, I've got coming up a video that talks about clearing the hips in the downswing. Now this ties right in with this video to help you make a great golf swing, so make sure you check it out. It's coming up. Do you want to know how to make a better golf swing? Click and watch the video on your screen now. It's going to go into more detail about how to clear your hips in the downswing, which ties in really well with this video to help you make a great golf swing. Do you want to know how to play even better golf? Consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.